Yamuna Tira Banachari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha
Madhava Kunja
Kunja
Bihari.
Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
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 Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya
Jaya
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada,
Jaya
Jaya Prabhupada,
Prabhupada.
Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva,
Jaya
Guru
Guru
Deva, Jaya
Deva, Jaya
Guru,
Guru Deva, Jaya
Jaya Guru
Guru
Deva,
Deva,
Jaya Guru.
Jaya Guru Deva.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Iskon Guru
Jai.
Binda ki jai, Samaveda Vaishnava Binda ki jai, Sunday Love Feast ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, Prabhuji, thank you so much again for accepting our invitation to speak and enlighten us on this forum on a very, very relevant topic of devotee care. So, just for the benefit of our audience, we would like to give a short introduction of you, which a lot of people don't even need that. So, His Grace Pran Govind Prabhuji is a spiritual seeker who has practiced the tenets of Bhakti Yoga for several decades and shared them with others who have come in contact with him. His spiritual discourses, as a lot of us may have already experienced, are replete with the element of devotion, love that moves the heart of those present towards loving surrender to the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. He's a tireless preacher who has inspired thousands to take up the process of Bhakti Yoga as the means to scientific realization of the self. And I emphasize on the word scientific because Prabhuji's depth of knowledge and his analytical abilities to explain the concepts, the tenets of devotional service is amazing. So just to mention, He also holds classes. He also holds Wednesday classes that I am aware of, where frequently asked questions that come in the mind of practitioners of bhakti yoga, or even people who are interested, who are not yet following. So he holds classes for them. And right now, I think Prabhuji, you're still speaking on faith, right? Yes.
We are going to Nityananda Tattva this week.
Okay. Okay. So I was there for a few classes. I couldn't attend everything, but the presentation is amazing. So with that, we would like to hand it over to His Grace Pran Govind Prabhuji to present his talk for today. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So before we begin, I would like to invoke the mercy of our Guru Parampara, so we can be under their guidance while we are discussing these wonderful topics called Vaishnava Seva, Vaishnava Care. Om Ajnanati Mirandhasa Gyenanjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namam Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Shayam Rupa Kada Mahayam Dadati Shapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Sabadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakanitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine Pancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavunebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktabinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I would like to begin with this. What is Vaishnava care and why it is important? Of course, this Prabhu asked me to talk about this. Obviously, it is the most significant one, but how it is significant, let's have a little touch before we begin that. If we assess our existence right at this moment, what do we have? Well, we have these bodies, we have minds, we have our intelligence, we have our senses, we have desires. These are actually gifts of Krishna. So for Krishna's pleasure, we should keep our gift as far as possible in good conditions. but for the purpose of being instrument of service. That is very important. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu emphasized a very prominent sloka, Bhakta Pada Dhuli, Bhakta Pada Jal, Bhakta Bhukta Avases Teen Mahabal. That taking the remnants of Vaishnava's food is so valuable. That is induced Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to offer Kalidas his supreme mercy. We are all looking for ultimate happiness through our service and to Bhagavan. It boils down to this that if Krishna accepts our service, he gives us this mercy, then our heart struggle journey for in this sadhan path is over, if we get the mercy. But to get the mercy is the easiest way if we can develop an idea to serve Vaishnava. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, also repeatedly, Rupa Goswami Pad put in this Nectar of Devotion that Sadhu Sangha Nama Kirtan Bhagavat Shravan Mathura Vas Sri Murtiya Shraddhaya Sevan. One should associate with devotees, chant the holy name of the Lord, hear Srimad Bhagavatam, reside at Mathura, and worship the deity with faith and veneration. These 5 limbs, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, these 5 limbs of devotional service are considered to be the best of all, because even a slight performance of them awakens love for Krishna that we are looking for, our ultimate goal. Whether a person execute only one or many of this process, but love for Krishna can quickly manifest. And easiest of all is serving devotee. Srila Prabhupada often quote this, just by hearing we remember. Charya Vaishnava Seva Nistar Paya Chekeva. What needs to be particularly emphasized is that service to the Vaishnavas cannot be separated from any aspect of devotional service. That is Narottam Das Thakur's opinion. Who has ever attained supreme beatitude without serving the Vaishnavas? Who? There is no such example. Without the association and service of perfected devotee of the Lord, the person Bhagavat, no aspect of devotional service can be exercised properly. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went further. He says, Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Hai Sadhu Sangha Krishna Prema Janmetehu Punat Muktanga. In other words, we have to develop a habit of serving Vaishnavas, because even after awakening love of Krishna, this service to Vaishnava, association of Vaishnava, remain eternally in spiritual world. It's not like after you attain everything, then you don't have to serve anyone. But actually, in a pure goodness platform, serving Vaishnava is the greatest joy. Even Mahaprabhu himself loves to serve the Vaishnava. The God himself exhibiting this. So serving Vaishnava is more important than serving even Supreme God. In 11th canto, the Lord himself disclosed this secret to Uddhava. He says that, how the verse began, Adara paricharjayam mad bhakti abhivandana Mad bhakta puja bhadika sarvabhuteshu manomati. That when you develop some affection for me, that time your pleasing me actually pleases all part of my existence. Means every limbs, all incarnation, all living being, everybody is satisfied. Just mean to stay jagat tushta. At that time, actually, service to my devotee is more glorious, pleasing me more. So Lord Krishna disclosed that when you develop an idea of serving others, Vaishnava, it pleases him most. Generally in neophyte stage, we don't think, we think serving Krishna is the most important. Yes, but pleasing Krishna through serving Vaishnava, advanced devotee, is actually pleases Krishna easier. So, very, very important and significant topics. As far as our ISKCON society is concerned, one of the most important elements of ISKCON society would be how the devotees are being cared for in different temples across the world. Recently, last couple of years, we were thinking, since pandemic started, this became the vital point, how the devotees are taken care. One time, Bhakti Charu Maharaj, I went to live with him in Sanford for a week. And I said, so we need to make more new devotee constant. We have to have that spirit. And Maharaj said, yes, but what about after making the devotee, keeping them also? If you cannot keep them happily, then what is the value of just making more? So taking care of the devotees is more important right now. And then, of course, we should make also new bhakta, but it is important that we do take care of devotees. It was a very nice discussion. I remember, do you know ISKCON has an account of exact number of books we have distributed? If you go on a website, you'll find it like something, a range of 500 to 600 billion books. And every second the account is growing. So through the BBT, through well orchestrated a formula system, account system, we have a proper idea of the number of books. And books are ultimately going up. People are connecting. And they are joining the movement. But one interesting observation was that we do not seem to have exact count of how many devotees actually we got connected to ISKCON and how many stayed and how many left. Just like we have Mother Mahamaya here in Alachua. She has a website. She keeps track of all the Prabhupada's disciples. I said, did you get all the Prabhupada's disciple names there? They said, why trying? Means we don't know exactly. We have some number, 5,000 or 6,000 or maybe 9,000. It's a kind of like some guesstimation. But some effort were made to keep that database. So why I'm bringing this? Because this is very important consideration that if an asset is valued, then it is accounted for. Isn't? If an asset is valued, then it is accounted for. Therefore, it is important enough for us to look at this dimension of care. How a devotee feel cared for in their connection with Krishna conscious society. So I was doing little research that the word care, what does that means? We use it every day almost. I care for this, I do care for this. Why are you doing this? Because I care. Will you go there? No, I don't care. We use that word. So we can look at the care as noun. If you use the word care as noun, it's like a state of mind in which one is unintelligible. He was never free from care. And also care you can use as a verb. Means I care for this, to be caring, to be concerned. Why you worry about it? Oh, because I care for that person. Why the parents worry about their children? Because they care. Why Prabhupada, even on the bed, he was partying, he was expressing, he says, since Krishna wants me to go, I have to leave, but I would also like to see, because I care for this society, that how far it is going. So we see that word is mentioned repeatedly, and we do care for each other. We do care for the society's growth. We do care Krishna consciousness growing. We do care people coming or not coming. Are we attracting them? So who will care for the family? We're concerned after father departs, like when Prabhupada left. This question also raised when after I was driving back after Bhakti Charu Maharaj's funeral. Who will care the disciples after Bhakti Charu Maharaj leave? So this word care, that who will care, is repeated. And Radhanath Maharaj was very kind. He wanted me to repeat that to Bhakti Charu Maharaj, if I could speak just before he left, that ISKCON authorities, GBCs, they are very eager to let him know that it is good that if he can stay with us a little longer will be good. But if that is the desire of Prabhupada and Krishna that they want him to go, that's okay. But he should know that we do care his project and we do care his disciples. It is very important. So since that time, it is stuck in me. Oh, the care is so important. Yeah, do I care for my sadhana? Otherwise, what will make me keep going? Do you care for yourself? Do you care for your family? I mean, this question is always like in there. Maybe we don't discuss that, but it is there. So what I found mostly, the devotee care, now they have a department open called devotee care in India, and hopefully it will come to the West also soon. And many devotees join to that department, and they are trying to create atmosphere where elderly Prabhupada's disciples, when they work so hard for the movement, they can be more with the devotee bhajan and not worry about, because we do care. So boils down to this. First of all, care means I found responsibility. So I'm going to discuss what care means, what I found. There is a context of responsibility. It's very important. Why? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who founded this movement, he cared for his own people at that time. There is a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila 8.10. He says, Morona manile sab loko hobe nas, ite lagi kriparda Prabhu korila sannas. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw that he came back from Gaya and now love of Godhead he is pouring out, he wants to distribute amongst all the friends and Navadvip citizens. Guess what? They are not interested. And Mahaprabhu, in a ecstasy mood, he was expressing how high it is. It is exactly what all the souls are looking for, a highest form of love. But he found some disturbance amongst the students in his school. And they rather disobeyed, not only disobeyed, they wanted to actually challenge and literally harm Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu sat down and became very depressed. He said, I have come to give them relief from this material world, but just by talking bad about me and disrespecting me, they will be in hell for a long time, forever. So just because he cares, he took sannyas. And he explained this, why? Navadvipe je shakti na koila prakashe, she shakti prakashe nistarile dakshin deshe. Mahaprabhu says that sannyasi buddhe more koribe namaskar. Even they don't care now, but when I take sannyas, the culture is like this in Bengal, that they bow down to that sannyasi. And when they bow down, sannyasi buddhe more koribe namaskar, tathapi khandibe dukkha paibe nistar. And Srila Prabhupada gave a very nice purport. He said, Mahaprabhu is so merciful that he came to this conclusion, if I take sannyas, they all will bow down to me, pay obeisances. Just by paying obeisances to me, their material distress will diminish and they will get ultimate liberation from this material world. Generally, if someone is opposed to us, does not care for us, we may not also feel that we have any responsibility towards them. I mean, literally, if you think, I mean, hopefully, maybe it's me only, but it's true. But we can see the magnanimity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that those very people in Navadvip who are not coming with an embrace in the net of his mercy, in order to include them, Mahaprabhu decided to make them fortunate. And he said, I'll give my all fortune. He gave up even the association of goddess of fortune, Vishnu Priya. She is a Mahalakshmi, wonderful mother, family, everything. He gave up just to accommodate everybody, bring everybody in that net of mercy. Why did he do that? Because he felt responsibility for their well-being. So care means responsibility. Today is Ramanujacharya's disappearance day. And I'll give you one little story. What Ramanujacharya gave is a key point. We should memorize those. Ramanujacharya says, service to Bhakta capture the heart of Bhagavan. And he said, if we have faith in Guru, Vaishnava, that will give greatest pleasure to Bhagavan. So there was a great devotee named Kanchipurna. And Kanchipurna, he was born in a Sudra family. Of course, not that Sudra any in Vaishnava culture we take like this now, but still he was very humble and very did not want to disturb the Brahmana society, but he was initiated by Jamunacharya, and then he was serving the Lord Ranganathji very nicely. But Ramanujacharya, as a young boy, he saw him always so happy, engaged in serving the Lord by fanning. Even there are rumors spread around that he conversed with the Lord. It's so wonderful. So Ramanujacharya developed, he was a young boy. Nobody knew him as a Ramanujacharya, the founder of Sri Sampradaya. Today is his disappearance day. We are fortunate to discuss about him too. So Ramanujacharya, as a young boy, he actually approached him for initiation. But Kanchipurna says, oh no, it's impossible because I am from low class and you are a Brahmana. How can it's even thinkable? It is not even thinkable. He said, but you are a Vaishnava, it's above this caste. But modern India, you may not understand, but old India was, this caste system was very prominent. It was very heavy and it could be very damaging. It's still there, a little bit here, there in India, but it's not as much. So that time, Ramanujacharya approached again and again, he failed. Then finally he said, all right, then you come and take prasadam in our house. So what was the purpose he was doing it? Because he knows that he read that when you serve a devotee, you capture the heart of Bhagavan. That was his motive. That to please Bhagavan, I want to serve the devotee. So of course, Kanchipurna agreed. And at due time that he is supposed to come, he came little early. Knowing that Ramanujacharya will walk through the temple to pick him up, but of course those days there was no car, you have to walk. But he went to accompany him back to his house. So as he went, very interestingly, as he went near the temple, he found out that actually Kanchipurna left. But when Kanchipurna came, he approached Ramanuja's house, and his wife, she had a problem of caste system. She was raised in a Brahmana culture where she literally believed that there is a high caste, low caste. Vaishnavism is not considered a liberal way of looking. So anyway, she always knew that he's born, he may have a devotion, but he was born in a low class. And this is what's in her mind. So she replied, my husband will be here. He went to pick you up. So he said, no, I have some other service I have to go. So whatever you cook, just give me some. I just came to honor it. So she offered some prasadam and he ate. After he finished eating, this Lakshman Bara, this wife of Ramanujacharya, who are grown up in a caste system, she called a low-class lady to come and clean that place where this great sadhu, Kanchipurna, ate. And she threw everything from his plate, anything that was touched by that. So then Ramanujacharya finally found out that, oh, he already came. And so after his return, he said, wow, I'm so happy. Did Kanchipurna come? She said, yes. So then he asked, why are you cooking now? He said, I'm cooking fresh for you. So what do you mean fresh for me? So did he eat? He said, yes. So if he ate, then where is the remnants? So, oh, no. He's from a low class. We throw it outside, everything cleaned by this maid servant. Oh, Ramanujacharya felt so bad. So bad. He was trying to make her understand that Vaishnavas are above the three modes. Vaishnava should not be considered American, Indian, or male or female. Those who are serving the Lord, they are above the three modes. They are always object of worship. They should not be checked by their background or last name. But she did not give importance because she grew up that way in her family, early life, childhood life, that she come from a high-class Brahman, whether their consciousness is pure or not is not important, their last name is important. As a result, Ramanujacharya had a affection and compassion also. So care also means affection and compassion. So what did he do? he wanted, because she would not learn, so he made a plot where she went to see her family. And in the meantime, he also left for sannyas. In a sense, just to establish this point that compassion to other living entity means care. Vaishnava cares for it. And Ramanujacharya, at that time when he went to Srirangam, Jamunacharya just left. And we all probably heard that story that when he left this world, he had a 3-finger closed. And Ramanujacharya asked everybody, because Jamunacharya had a big group of sannyasis. He said, why 3? You know, generally, when you die, your hand's supposed to be like open. When you go to sleep, well, I don't want you to judge each other. But when you go to sleep, generally, if your hand is open, means you have no attachment in this world if you leave this world. But sometimes people sleep, they sleep with the closed hand because their attachment is still there. But of course, we should not judge. If you see somebody sleeping with closed hand, oh, he's a bogey. No, not like that. We should not judge. But anyway, so 3-finger was closed. So then he asked why 3-finger is closed. And they did not know. So Ramanujacharya, at that time, he was not even initiated by Jamunacharya. But his guru left. So then later on, Jamunacharya's disciple, Mahapurna, initiated him. So that time he very nicely took spoke 3 statement. He said, oh Gurudev, I'm taking vow now that I will write the commentary on this on this Vedanta Sutra on behalf of you, so that your teachings can be spread far and wide. Everybody saw 1 finger just open. And he said, I will practice this and preach and make other of your followers to also preach this all over India. Then another finger open. And he said, I'm taking vow right now that I'll take sannyas now and follow this path strictly and preach. All 3 finger open. So his guru also cared, even though he departed from this world. His guru cared for him. Ramanujacharya cared for everybody. All this vow is not just a vow, it's for the compassion. So then we see that care also means affection. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Rupa Sanatan that I was going to go to Vrindavan, but I took a detour, came here just to deliver you. And Mahaprabhu says in Adilila, you can see, Aji hoite duhar naam Rupa Sanatan, dainna chara tumar, dainne fate moro mon. Mahaprabhu said like this, that just to deliver you both, I have given up my normal road to go to Vrindavan. I have taken detour. That means the care means they also have affection for especially for those who are very serious. Of course, there is 3 types of living entity. Srila Prabhupada explained. Those who are in a Sattva gun, they are like a dry grass. As soon they come in contact with Krishna consciousness, they immediately pick it up. They are ready to get into spiritual life. And those who are in Rajagun, they are kind of like a wood has a water inside. So they practice, but they produce some smoke instead of fire. Even though they come in contact with fire, but they doesn't produce fire. They go through a little tough time. all kinds of anarthas and so much up, down, almost gave up, again pick it up, again gave up, again pick it up, like pushing until all the smoke is finished. They need to be encouraged and inspired. Then eventually they'll come out. And those who are in completely ignorance, like a water, even fire drops in a water, it won't last. It will extinguish right then and there. Srila Prabhupada explained this. So similarly, the Ramanujacharya also exhibited through a disciple named Dasarathi. Dasarathi is one wonderful example of how he exhibited that the Guru cares for him. So he, if you may know him, his story, or may not, Ramanujacharya first took initiation, not from Jamunacharya, even though we say he's a follower of Jamunacharya. Yes, he's a Shiksha disciple, like now everybody is a Prabhupada Shiksha disciple for 10,000 years. They're fine. They're same as Diksha disciple. It's not like a big difference. It depends on how strictly and strongly you follow to that, as long as you are connected. So Ramanujacharya's guru, Mahapurna, he had a daughter named Atulai. She is a wonderful Vaishnavi. She got married to a far distance village, and the in-laws, they were kind of abusing her. So she comes back to Mahapurna and complains, my dear father, they make me so hard work. The water that I have to bring for a few miles, I have to walk back and forth. I have to bring everybody's bathing water, drinking water, cooking water, and then I have to clean it. I have to cook for it. It's just too much. And every day they tell, why your parents did not train you well. You should know how to work hard before you got married. So I'm being like so exhausted and tired. I can't do it. So her father say, well, I have a disciple, Ramanuj. He knows how to counsel and mentor you. You better go to see him. So as she is complaining her life, a great disciple of Ramanuj named Dasarathi. Dasarathi was a scholar, #1 scholar, famous scholar. When he finished his course of learning, his teacher says, now I did my job. As for complete surrender, that I cannot teach you. Only your guru can teach you. So now you're done with the school, learning Sanskrit and all. Now you go to your guru and he will teach you. So when Ramanujacharya counseling this girl, he said, well, I'm so sorry you're going through tough. You just need some help. That time Dasarathi just walked in and he fell at the feet of his guru. So Ramanujacharya diverted. He said, excuse me, mother Atulai, just give me 1 minute. So how are you, Dasarathi? He says, I'm good. I am done, Guru Maharaj, all my education. The final task of surrender, he said, only you can teach me. He said, very good. So now you got a new appointment. Let's see that. He said, yes, Gurudev, I'm ready. Now just imagine, he's a highly scholared Brahmana. He just told him, now you go and serve this Mataji's family. They need a lot of service. Just go there and live there and take care whatever need they need. So Dasarathi went there. He accepted gladly. This is how the caring business goes between guru disciple. Guru care for disciple and disciple care. But how it manifests, let's see. So then he went, and every day, of course, he's carrying water, cooking, cleaning for the family. Nobody knows that he is a genius scholar on Shastra. It's going on for many months. One day in the village, there's a big Mayavadi came, and all the villagers gathered, and he's giving speech. While he's carrying the water, Dasarathi stopped. So what's going on? Big gathering, all the villagers are here. And he heard, of course, he is a genius scholar. He got attracted by the philosophy, but then he noticed, oh Krishna, this guy is a pure Mayavadi. He's pouring poison to the heart of all those innocent villagers. They will be doomed forever. Then he did not go. He was holding his water pot and just waited for the speaker to finish speaking. After he finished, he raised his hand. He made a little commotion. I have a question. And then generally, we have a Srila Prabhupada care for us, so he introduced this question answer. Actually, in Gaudiya Math also, they don't have a question answer system. Nowhere. This is Prabhupada's wonderful, because he cares for us. So he introduced this, that this is important, needed question answer when you have after the class. Of course, they didn't have, but they allowed him. So he says, he quoted the verse that you saying this, ekattan, that we are one, we should finally dissolve our material mental system and merge into this spiritual domain. This without service explanation, without other relationship, this is like abominable. This is harmful to all these villagers. Even to you, you are speaking. And of course, the speaker could not tolerate. He said, who is this man? He said, oh, he's just a maid servant. They had no idea he's actually a genius scholar. He's on a test roll by his guru. He's just a menial servant. So he said, you know who I am? I'm an orator, erudite in scholar, Vedanta, and you are just a menial servant. You have no right to ask this kind of question. But then he begged. He said, I'm so sorry, but what you are giving, these people all will be doomed if they think like this. They have eternal relationship with God. How can you say such thing? So then the speaker took the challenge. He said, you have better idea? Then he started quoting the slokas, quoting the Vedanta, and he established the point that every soul has an eternal relationship with God, and that has to be revived. Everybody has a love for God. It has to be awakened. Otherwise, they will struggle. Even if they go to spiritual world without service idea, they will struggle. The speaker was actually very genius. And he understood that this man talking sounds like something more higher than what I understood. And he allowed him to speak. As he spoke more and more and more and more, then eventually he surrendered. He literally surrendered to the Dasarathi. And they did a little kirtan, was such a wonderful. Then all the villagers went to Ramanujacharya, to other city. He said, why did you send your most brilliant sage to be a menial servant of this sense enjoyer? Then Ramanujacharya called his disciple. He said, now you have understood what is surrender means. You followed Guru's instruction, you fulfilled, and Krishna actually revealed your position. Now you come back and serve here. So question came that why did Ramanujacharya did this? Because he cared. He cared for Atulai, that mother who was suffering due to the lack of help. And he didn't have anybody right in front, so he engaged this erudite scholar to do this service to this. Why? Because that Mataji is a daughter of his own guru, Mahapurna. Sometimes we may not see somebody maybe may not be erudite scholar or something, but if they have some connection with our Guru Varga, we must give the facility and serve them. They should not deprive from our devotional principle. So this way we see that how Mahaprabhu actually established that care means affection, and Ramanujacharya did the same thing. And I was also mentioning there is another meaning I found. The care also means attention. Attention basically means diligence, or you can say prudence. We can give an example, and Mahaprabhu did this. He gave so much attention, he established with Haridas Thakur. You know, Haridas Thakur, you all know the story of prostitute. But when Haridas Thakur came, when the prostitute approached him, it was not that he was trying to ignore or he was not feeling lust, or not like this. He was giving attention to the holy name. And when you give attention to the holy name, when you literally absorb in holy name, it is so high that nothing material sense enjoyment can even touch it. And the affection actually developed for that prostitute, that she should also get benefited. So Mahaprabhu established this. And during these 2 nights, on 3rd night she got delivered, there was no philosophy. He did not speak any logic, not quoting scriptures, nothing. He was just chanting, but he was full attentive to the chanting. So care means, when you say you care for your chanting, means you give attention. It is very important. And we see this also in Ramanujacharya's teaching. One example is, I would say, Dhanurdhar. Many disciples' example is it, but one example is Dhanurdhar, and Dhanurdhar is a wonderful devotee. Now, in his previous, before he became devotee, if you curious, he was actually big dacoits, mafia. People would be like scared of him just by hearing. But he was intelligent. He was not a dummy dacoits. He was very intelligent. He even asked himself, why am I doing this? Robbing, stealing. And he inquired and he found that actually what makes him happy is the one he's searching for. It's not a robbing or anything. Whatever, because the money can give him some pleasure, so he's doing this. So he was thinking like, no, I should search for what makes me happy. Why? Because I care for my existence. This is what I care. So he went searching, and he found out that the eyes of the beautiful woman makes him very happy. So he said, why not I just look at the eyes, and then he searched in his kingdom, because he was running like a mafia dacoit, but he was also running a kingdom. He was the king. So he found the most beautiful girl and he married her. So he can look at her eyes all the time. So one time on Ekadashi day, his wife, generally Matajis are very inclined, we see also in ISKCON, to the religious activities, naturally. Sometimes more than the men's. They're naturally attracted to spiritual life. So she was expressing her visit to Sri Ranganathji, big temple, biggest temple until TOBP will come, tallest temple, I would say. And so when she would walk, this Dhanurdhar, he would look at her eyes, so he would walk backward and he will not stop looking. When they came in the temple, the pujari is thinking, hey, you are putting your back towards the deity. How can I open the curtain? Now she wants to look at the deity and they're going to open the curtain, but he cannot open when somebody put his back towards the deity. So the pujari expressed this. He said, no, I'm not putting back. I'm looking at my deity. So what do you mean you're looking at the deity? So anyway, they had a little argument. They complained to the Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya came there and he asked him. He said, don't you see the deity is there? And you actually put your back side towards the deity. It is not proper. It is offense. He said, I'm not putting back on the deity. I'm actually looking front of the deity. He said, what you are talking about? Then Dhanurdhar says, he said, my God is whoever is most attractive. Ramanujacharya thought about it. I mean, he's true, he's correct. Because God means when you say he is the highest object of worship, means he is the most attractive. There cannot be any object more attractive than him, more lovable than him, more richer than him. And we all say about it. We speak about this, that God should be in a position where he possesses everything in complete. So the Ramanujacharya says, how do you see your God then? He said, I see the God in my wife's eyes. This is the most attractive. He said, you come with me. I'll show you the eyes of the God. He said, no, I came to the temple many times before I found her. I went many, many temples. I was never attracted to the face of the Lord or eyes. He said, no, come this time. So someone or other, he agreed, and he took, in Gopuram means it's a small door, and then you go inside. As he went inside, Ramanujacharya, he prayed for him, and by his mercy, this Dhanurdhar looked at the eyes of Krishna, and he started crying. So Ramanujacharya asked, why was he crying? Dhanurdhar replied, the Lord is so beautiful. I could never imagine. How can an object be so attractive? I thought I saw before. I could not see this. By the mercy of Vaishnava, because Ramanujacharya cared for him. So he fell at the feet of Ramanuj, and I have been an offender. You helped me to see the truth. Then he turned back to his wife. He said, you are most beautiful until I met the Lord. And the Lord is the most beautiful in the whole creation. And she was also happy because she cared for him. He cared for her. Ramanujacharya cared for. So it's wonderful that how Dhanurdhar actually proved that point that Ramanujacharya cared for each soul according to their whatever anartha. It's not like it can be, like destructive, that he's attached to his wife, not God. We would be like thinking like this is not good, but this is not good. We have to pray for that person. Ramanujacharya did that. This Dhanurdhar was wonderful. When Ramanujacharya about to leave this world, he asked Dhanurdhar came. He became a devotee, of course, that time he surrendered. And he told to Ramanujacharya, Gurudev, you are about to leave. I'm scared. How am I going to enter to serve the Lord forever? Since you are leaving, I'll be lost. So it was very nice. Ramanujacharya told him, do you remember the pastimes of Vibhishan? Vibhishan came from a demoniac family. So you come from a mafia, bad family. But Vibhishan had a love for Ram. He had so much love for Ram. And Dhanurdhar said, yes, but that is you. You have love for the Lord. I don't. You gave me some attraction, but I don't have love like you. Then Ramanujacharya says, the Vibhishan had love for Ram and he came, but he also had 4 other assistants. They are all demon. Did they have love for Ram? No. But they did have something. What was it? They had attraction for Guru. Vibhishan. They want to follow him as a bodyguard, as an assistant. And as a result, when Ram accepted Vibhishan, he automatically accepted those 4 assistants. So if we can be attracted to Srila Prabhupada's teaching and surrendered to Srila Prabhupada's service in Krishna Consciousness Society, because Srila Prabhupada has so much love for Krishna, by his grace, we will be all accepted also. Because Krishna cares for us. Prabhupada cares for us. And we care also for us to stay connected under Prabhupada's guidance and go back home, back to Godhead. This Vaishnava cares is the most fascinating. So because of the time, I'm going to end here just by saying that I had a little talk with Radhanath Swami about this. Was wonderful. That how material life is when we put the flickering pleasure. This is the key point. I want everybody to think about it. The material sense enjoyment is like a flickering pleasure and flickering securities, retirement, all this. So material life, when we put the flickering pleasure, securities of the mind and the senses in the center of our lives, our decisions, our aspirations, our goals are according to spiritual life or true bhakti is when we put the pleasure of God or Krishna in the center of our life. What pleases Krishna, what pleases Prabhupada, all our decision, our aspiration are orchestrated accordingly. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Participant Bhaktavinda ki jai. Gaur Pramanande Hari.
Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you so
Krishna,
much.
Prabhu.
Wonderful class. I'm sure like we're going to have a lot of questions. So I will let the devotees ask questions now. So please feel free to unmute yourself. Please feel free to unmute yourself and then ask questions of Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mata.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and with Pranam. I just wanted to ask you to kind of place this, Janma Sarthaka Kari Paropkar, right? So how does that work with devotee care? When we are in a very neophyte condition, how do we then extend that care? Because the examples that you have given is of great Vaishnavas who have this compassion and they are able to extend themselves. But as new devotees, how do we do that?
You have quoted this verse very nicely, Mataji, that Janma Sarthakari Kara Paro Upaka. So Janma Sarthakari means you are acknowledging you have a human consciousness. In conscious revelation, there are 5 types of human. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says there are immoral atheists, then moral atheist, then moral theist, then come sadhak, and then come pure devotee. So we can examine through the association of those who are into sadhak or siddha, by following their teachings, by their association. Association means that natural attraction to serve the Lord is arising in the heart. If it is not arising, if I'm not feeling more coming closer to Prabhupada and Krishna, then association is not really working. It is not really association. Association, sadhu sangam, means I must feel more coming closer to Prabhupada and Krishna. And within you, you can examine whose association brings you closer to Krishna, whose association take you away from Krishna. Sometime even Sunday feast, we gather sometime. Oh, how is your new car? How is going business? Those are necessary, I'm not saying, but at least when you are in the temple atmosphere, why not discuss how is the turban of Balaram? How is Krishna's flute? What kind of dress he has? Now you may say, what will be the difference? Difference is, when we meditate on a particular form of the Lord or his paraphernalia, it says that our storage filled with karma impression. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 12th chapter, Shreyahi Gyanam Abbasat Gyanat Dhenam Vishishyate. Gyanat Dhenam Vishishyate. When you apply the knowledge or you apply your intelligence on chanting or discussion, then what happened? Dhanat karma follow tegat. Whatever you're going to experience in this world of karma reaction, it disappears. Very mystical. If you just talk for 10 minutes, Krishna was standing like this in the altar, and he has a yellow dhoti. I'm just saying like that because yellow is just a general dress of Krishna, which is true. Pita Vasana Bonamali, all those verses. And it has a embroidered, like flying this way. Now there is a sloka says, Nirdesha Guna Vigrahatmatantra Nischeta Gunaischa Hina Anandam Atra Kara Pada Udaradi Sagata Sobhedo Vivarjitatma. Krishna's every part of body condensed form of bliss, that it's always dancing. How do you know if somebody is blissful? Nartanam Kirtanam. Anandam Nartanam Kirtanam. They must feel like happy, joyful to dance and sing. That's why Golok Vrindavan says, Katha Ganam Natam Gamanam Api Bangsi Priya Saki. Katha Ganam. Every word is a song. Every step is a dance. Because of this. So when you say, okay, Krishna must be so much dancing that his chadar is like this, his dhoti is like this way. It's not like Pujari put a little thread. That's how it appears. But actually, all the time, he's part of his body cloth moving. And even though it seems like it doesn't make sense, just by meditating on that, it will burn out the karma. Yes. You try, it works. I tried, it worked. So when you have an association like this, and you feel very light in your heart, that you feel very joyful, you feel more close to Guru Krishna, then it is Janma Sarthak. And you grow that association more. If a particular name of Krishna attracts you more, I like Mother Jashoda and Krishna. Oh, meditate on that. I like Radharani and Krishna. Okay, meditate on that. Whatever form you feel attracted, it doesn't have to be your own deity. It doesn't have to be any name, any form of Krishna. You sing on that. Then naturally 4 things will develop. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. Daina, Daya, Manadena, Aman. You will see yourself more close to Prabhupada and your identity. Without Prabhupada, you don't want. It's like nobody's telling you, but you're feeling that you belong to this sampradaya. You feel happy to be in this group of Prabhupada disciples or Prabhupada's follower, and you feel very happy. This is one. Second is Daina Daya, tenderness towards the others automatically arise. You don't have to force to be compassionate. It is not actually forceful. It is natural byproduct. when the bhakti arising in the heart, when the attraction for Krishna arising, naturally attraction, tenderness towards the others, naturally developing. Natural. Automatically you feel like, oh my God, this man is standing there and we should give him a little prasadam. It's like automatically, or give him a book. It's naturally coming. It's very mystical. So I hope that helps you. Thank you, Mata.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Further questions?
Hare Krishna, Pran Govind Prabhu. This is Devotee.
Hare Krishna, Dvaipayan Prabhu, you are behind the deity or in front of the deity? I see the deities.
Prabhu, actually, I'm in the car, so I cannot put my camera right now. So it's like I'm driving and have a question. Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So, Prabhu, regarding the devotee care, so sometimes the feeling is always not mutual. So the expectation is that the authorities will take care of me, which means if I'm the congregation, I will expect the authorities to take care of me. But sometimes I would think, the people who are in the management or different high level or different levels, they also think, yeah, you can also ask about me too, how I'm doing. Doesn't mean that I'm just like Krishna. Always, from the past times we learn that Yashoda Maya always likes to care about Krishna, even though Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and He's taking care of everybody. But sometimes the expectation, it comes like this, that everyone else expects to be cared for, but they don't really think about giving back the care. That's my question. So how do we feel others can feel like that, that I'm not being felt cared for, even ask how are you, but I'm expected to care for others.
You're talking about me. That's how sometimes our mind dictates like this, that Bhaktivinoda Thakur quoted a verse that when the soul came to this material by existence by misusing fuel, he says, Nijo Sukha Paran, Krishna Bimukhan, Harer Maya Dandan Gunanigada Jalai Kalayati. So Nija Sukha Paran. Nija Sukha Paran means he's looking for his own happiness, own attention. He demands attention. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Mami Vangsha Jivaloke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana Manasastani Indriyani Prakritistani Karshati. Karshati means every soul is trying to attract. I am the Lord of Florida. Everybody's supposed to serve me. But in pure state, the soul don't have this. It is the contamination here. In spiritual world, everybody takes care of everybody in a sense because nobody is looking for their own happiness. The happiness by serving Krishna coming such an amount that if you get 50 prep breakfast, 100 prep lunch, another 50 prep dinner, how often you will go to shopping for grocery shopping? Never. You will forget that you need to cook for you. So in Vrindavan, the existence is like this, that every soul, every Brajavasis are overwhelmed with happiness, but they are not looking for happiness. Rather, they actually don't like this ecstasy sometimes because they want to serve Krishna more. And the service disturbed. Like Radharani says that she has two enemies. One enemy is that whenever she sees Krishna, Krishna is so extremely attractive, beautiful, that her tears comes for the affection. She feels so much attracted and affectionate towards him. She wants to just do everything for him. But tears blocks her eyes to see him. And she's just wiping. She says, I don't like these tears. Why tears is coming? Tears come out of ecstasy. So sometimes they have also this problem, but this is, of course, ecstasy problem is not a mundane problem. So like this, But in the material world, we want some self-centeredness. If we can mold it to give it to other Vaishnavas, we will see actually turns around. We will feel our natural happiness if we can learn how to give that attention to others. Put Krishna and Guru in the center. We heard this from day one. But practically when we apply it, even if even nobody cares for me, if I feel that, but do I care for them? And if you express that caring for them, your happiness actually will multiply more than even if they give you attention. This is a practical realization, I see that. More we care for other devotees, less we'll care for ourselves. And that's actually put us in a higher stage of happiness. Srila Prabhupada, you heard those stories. Srila Prabhupada was lying down in Vrindavan on the bed. And this devotee, such a wonderful, he came with his whole family and other devotees, hearing that Prabhupada is sick. As soon as he entered inside the house, inside the room, Prabhupada said, did you get prasadam? Did you get a place to stay? And the devotee started crying. He said, Prabhupada, you don't have to worry about us. You are so lean and thin, you're not eating almost a month, and you caring for us. Prabhupada said, no, it is necessary that you take care of yourself, your family, and everything. This is, Prabhupada wants us to act in that field. He was acting in that. Prabhupada was so sick one time, they said there is a dignitary, some government officer who wants to see him. They want to know what will happen when he leaves this world, who will run this whole society. It's very interesting. Prabhupada was so sick that he could not even get up properly. But still Prabhupada said, put on nice dress. I don't want to meet those people. Now, was it necessary? Yes, to Prabhupada it was necessary. Of course, the conversation is a long conversation, but essence of the conversation was, they asked Prabhupada that if everybody can leave from the room, they want to ask him a private question. And Prabhupada actually allowed they to leave. So they asked Prabhupada, when you leave this world, who will take care? Prabhupada says, each of my disciples, when they follow this sadhana bhakti, janma sarthakari, this idea that you follow the rules, regulation, and you are not just a robot, you actually care for others, devotees, and the care for the preaching, care for the, like a body. This body you have. If you say, I only care for your breathing, well, that's not enough. You need to feed the body. Okay, I care for feeding the body and breathing, but that's not enough. You need to bathe also. Otherwise it will smell bad and nobody will be, coming closer to them. So you have to bathe. Okay, I'll do this thing. No, more than that. You need to rest also. Give sleep to the body. Just like taking care of the body, you have to do so many things. It is not like calculating. Whatever is necessary, you give. Body need to rest, body need to eat, body need to clean, body need to wake up, go to temple. Like this, ISKCON is a body. Krishna consciousness is a body. It has so many book distribution, devotee care, the deity worship, there should be class, there should be sadhana, there should be counseling. All this together is a nourishment of care. Care is not just prasadam, care is not just lecture, care is everything together. I mean, from morning till now, and after this, I'll be going to temple. We see that whole day what we do. We have a deity worship, we have a morning sadhana, Mangalarti, Japa, Bhagavatam class. then everybody goes back to their whatever designated duty they have. Other days they have to go to work. So all this complete is a package of care, not just one thing. So when we talk about Krishna Consciousness Society, ISKCON, it's like this package. There are book distribution, BBT, distributor, Harinam, there's a temple devotees, there's a pujaris, there's a cook kitchen, there's a temple cleaning, so many things. And all together is a care in that sense. So if we focus on the total care, then we will lose our material interest of self-interest. Then we will look for the Krishna's interest in a total package. There is an inner satisfaction, guaranteed going to come. And because that is connected with Krishna through the service. But devotee, of course, the most important in the temple. If devotees are happy in the service, then definitely. Not that every devotee will be the same mood. Ambarish Prabhu told me personally, he was watching Prabhupada one day in Hawaii. One devotee complained, and he was really complained to Prabhupada. He said, you make too many rules strict. It just, I feel like suffocated. Four regulatory principle is too much. I used to do all this illegal, sex, drug, everything, and now I'm just feeling like suffocated. What do you think Prabhupada replied? Prabhupada said, I'm so sorry. Try your best. And Prabhupada prayed for him. Prabhupada could have said, well, I'm trying to make you human. No, Prabhupada was compassionate. He knew that he cannot take it. He comes from a level where he was breaking all these four regulative. And he was so moved by that. Prabhupada said, I'm so sorry. Try your best. And Prabhupada prayed. This is wonderful. Even if somebody did something wrong or could not come, we can always be helpful because we don't know. Krishna cares for each of us. So it is important to please Krishna that we care for each other. It's hard for a management. It's not easy. So your test is higher. Krishna is watching everything Dvaipayan Prabhu does. At least you are on the role model now. One day when you meet Krishna, Krishna will express everything. How wonderfully you did, and your wife. Thank you, Prabhu, for a wonderful question.
So Prabhuji, just also watching the time. Do you have some more time for any further questions?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Govinda Das, this is Humberto. Thank you so much for the wonderful lesson. What I understood, and I don't remember the names as you were telling the story, but the scholar, his responsibility was that he prepared himself. He studied the Shastras, the Sanskrit. So I think that for me, my responsibility is to make sure that I understand about Prabhupada, about Krishna, that I study the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, and I do my best to stay close to him. So understanding that and having that responsibility, then comes the surrender to the Guru. Because sometimes as we service and as we want to take care of the devotees, the scholar went to the Guru and said, now what do I do? So I guess that is my question. What do I do? How can I serve? So as I am learning more with Vaipayana, with the other devotees, that they are guiding me in terms of the service, I should accept the role or the guidance, so then Krishna can be happy, and by doing my service, then in some way helping the devotees, because I don't know everything that I can do, but as I am being guided, then hopefully that will please Krishna, and then the devotees can be taken care of. So that's where I am at, and as you said, is my role is to service and to surrender, and then Krishna will reveal in whatever way I should, whatever path or whatever assignment I should continue. But thank you so much for the lesson, Prabhu.
Very good realization, Prabhu. That's wonderful. Yes. Stay there, looking for sign. Whatever opportunity come, keep on serving. It seems like you have a wonderful attitude to serve, and that is wonderful. And Krishna will reciprocate because he's in your heart and he's listening right now. What you told me or told all of us, he also listened in your heart, and he will reciprocate. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Any last final questions for Prabhuji? I believe not.
Okay.
So yeah, Prabhuji, if you would like to end now, it's fine. Or if you had any other messages for us, we will be all ears.
I thought about that, how we discuss, just say in a nutshell, that devotee care means responsibility. And I found more and more as I thought how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was responsible. He exhibited that, the responsibility, and he acted on it. Whether with his mother, intimate, even with his wife that he left. He appeared there in a wonderful when she was suicidal, and he taught as a sannyasi that don't do this kind of. He cares for each of us. And those who are also raffins, he also delivered them. So this care means we do want everybody to come back to their original relationship with the Lord. And we should feel responsibility. Whatever extent each of us feel, and we can relate, and the Lord will definitely inspire us from within to go for it. So hope some benefit is there for. And thank you so much for allowing me to serve you, whatever extent. And I pray to Prabhupada and Sri Sri Radha Shyamsundar, Itai Gaur Nataraj, and Krishna Balaram, that all the devotees awaken their pure love for the Lord, for the divine couple, and also brings more and more Orlando people with them, and take them also back home, back to God. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we end here.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Anantagari Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.